Good morning, everybody. Oh, jeez. What did you do, Marmalade? SMH. Come on. There we go. Trying to find the stuff. Ah, here's the stuff. Hello. Oh ho ho! Do we have a Muisca sighting? And our good friend S. Lopez. Catch immediately? I like it. It's fun. Honestly, it's probably something of a requirement from World's Edge. You know, if we're giving you the money for the tournament, please, you know, incorporate the new stuff in as quick a quick way as possible that is fair, you know. Gratis på partnersdagen. I never really understood the whole partner anniversary thing because, like, that's kind of random when you get, you know, partnered. Yesterday? No, just Incas. With a very one-sided Chompy rush. Navy was? I beat it yesterday as well, actually. Oh my god. I really don't. Okay, mister. Yeah, I know. Anyway, I want to see some Muisca, man. Mapuche were banned, and I assume Tupi were... Yeah, Tupi were also banned. I just want to see some Muisca. I started the campaign. There we go. Larry? Oh, sorry, I forgot to update this. Yeah, unfortunately, all the cool stuff the new civs can do is kind of just overshadowed by... the Chompy Rush. And I have no idea how they can tackle that. Because on paper, the Chompies are balanced. It's just tricky. It is quite tight. Yeah, T90 doesn't like having many bans because he wants players to be able to execute the strategies they prepare. it's kind of just like a philosophy. I like, as a tournament host, I really like testing players' adaptability. So I generally like throwing people off when it comes to civ picks. Like, especially in team game events, like what's the thing you want to test most is adaptability and team coordination, not like, okay, I have the super slick strat prepared with this exact civ, at least most of the time. One extra ban? Ah, okay. Yeah, all scouts could auto scout. They made that change a little while ago. I've been hurting my neck recently, I think, with my posture. Maybe I need to sit further back in the chair. Giving pop space? Well, all settlements give pop space. Inca ones just give you extra pop space. Didn't really stand out. I mean, it's good, but it's not, like, obscenely broken or anything. Yeah, I think one way you could go about it is making the Dark Age Chompies a bit slower, but giving them more line of sight. Because they need to be able to, scout properly in the same way that all the other scout units can. So they need the line of sight extra line of sight if they move slower, but I think that is reasonable. Yeah, they're 1.1. Easy to pick off. Yeah, that's true. For sure. But yeah, if they're slower than eagles, then they die to eagles, and they can't necessarily avoid a fight. It's tricky. And stronger than eagles, but like the whole thing is that they're like that's their whole thing is that they're light and fast. Think this would be an issue? I think they did not appreciate just how degenerate the Dark Age rushes could be. They definitely care. That's not anything I'm worried about. I think what they probably could use more high-level players figuring stuff out. Because I think do they have anyone other than Hallis right now? But yeah, they probably could use some higher level players. All right, High Tides, game number 1. Freaking love High Tides. Like, how do Japanese escape getting banned, like, every single time, man? Degenerate Tester Senior, yeah, for sure. Oh, you bet it's High Tides. Just go to bed. It's funny that, like, we still almost always see these hybrid maps, so it's not like there are multiple opportunities for land maps where you could actually go for the new Sims or Incas. I mean, it's hard to balance, for sure. No question about it. But they need to find a way to do it. Because current Chompies seem a little busted. In Dark Age. I don't think Chompies, past, like, the early game stuff, it doesn't really seem like Chompies are overpowered, though. Can be OP in him. Keeping Fuelos, it's just, that's not how any unit in AoE works. The John Bay. Well, John Bay has been nerfed. It's really hard to start a game of AoE too, guys. Would that be OP? I don't think Aztecs need an insane buff like that. Almost right. He would be good friends with Galvarino. Alright, minute 40. The same level as an elite Eagle Warrior? Well, Eagles are still better than Chompies in general. Eagles are faster by a lot. Except with Miska, but they lack a lot of attack. Chompies are much worse against, especially heavy cav. At least if it has Celts. Celts used to be the only civ to have like a real military bonus for their drush. I mean, Aztecs and Mayans also back in the day. Spanish. Well, the thing with Spanish is they're always sort of a niche pick. So I'm sure they aren't played very often, but when they are played, they're pretty successful. Dark Age cheaper. They used to not be able to do that at all. Now they do get a cheaper Dark Age militia. All... Oh, is this just this season, though, right? Yeah, they've only been played 45 times. Oh, yeah, 45 times in all seasons. Georgians, Chinese. Too shabby? Yeah. Kind of surprising that Georgians have been played so few times. Well, that's because the ban rate for Georgians is also super high. I'm sure there's like some statistical analysis you could do. With the 3K civs? Is it? I have no idea. Specific maps? Exactly. Anyway, Andy is going to be here in the orange as the Ketons to the west. And ACCM going to be in the cyan. He is now officially a cyan picker as the Japanese to the east. Japanese should just be better here. But Andy will abscond with an elephant. Now remember, this is post-nerf Ketons. Your trash units only train a little bit faster, your pastures are weaker, and they got some other nerf, right? Was it 2 nerfs or 3? Emu. The problem is, like, I did the patch note stuff longer ago than I think some of the other... What the heck? What? Oh. Win rate? Yeah. Yeah, it just definitely looks like this is the first TTL with the 3K civs. I think Tadars are interesting because they have a very bad win rate because I think people just expect the civ to perform better than it actually does. I think with Saracens, people really try and leverage the market and it's just really hard to do effectively. I'm double checking the kittens. Okay, no, it's just the double nerf. Still, that's huge. At 40%, I think it's just because they're so popular. Anyway, fishing ships are on the way for the Ketons player, but it still begs the question is like, why on earth are you picking Ketons in the first place? Oh, the happy partner anniversary. Again, I really don't get it because to me, my streaming anniversary is January 14th. Because that's my first stream. Like, that's when I started streaming. So that's always going to be my anniversary. Like, the partner thing is, like, super random because it's like, I had to apply for it several times, and then it's just, like, whenever they finish processing it. It's like, it doesn't feel like a momentous, like, date to remember. Nanny? Anyway, 3 fishing ships out versus 1. I mean, Japanese should just be better on this sort of map than Ketons are. Now, of course, the map is pretty open in the mid-game. And Ketons can excel there. I mean, Japanese cav archers do beat even the Keton heavy cav archers because the 10 more HP and 1 more attack. Third fishing ship out, so Andy's at least ending up with the same number of fishing ships as his counterpart, but ACCMs are out faster, and they're also a little bit more efficient. Yeah, it's Castle Age cav archers with bloodlines versus heavy cav archers. Yeah, all the most played civs are going to be hovering around 50%. There's a barracks for Andy. It would be very surprising if he went for a drush. Yeah, but some of the Georgians' win rate is probably back when Georgians were like the best civs. And Chinese are just a civ that I know the devs are kind of resigned to. They don't want to fundamentally change Chinese in the early game. Just because they're so iconic. They know that the civ is overpowered at high levels, especially in a lot of like specific map niches. But I think the devs are just like, okay, if you guys are having issues with the Chinese, just ban them in tournaments. I think that's the current approach for the devs in Chinese, which I don't blame them. It's a tricky civ. I wouldn't want the Chinese start to be changed just because, like I said, I think it's so iconic. I think that maps being super streamlined is really what made Chinese busted in the first place. But I wouldn't want that really to ever change. Yeah, but I think the last TTL was back when Georgians were completely broken. Anyway, oh, it's clink, clink, clink time. I hope you like the clink, clink, clinks. Alright, I could not agree more. I really want to just bring people back to old Arabia, AOC Arabia. The map is so different, man. It was stinky. I mean, it was awful, right? Like, the map was tough, tough, tough. Anyway, I'm still really confused as to what Andy is doing. Oh, loses the Vil there. Now remember, double forging is big for Ketons because their Hulks actually will beat the other Civ's Hulks. So what's going to happen is he's going to pick up forging here. And his Hulks are going to be a lot better. We're behind, additional sheep. We're behind a pond. Chinese don't get to play multiple civs at once. But then, like, there were maps that you could also just go pure FC on. It was so random. Anyway, here we are, guys. Remember, Hulk's here. Able to do 2 damage. So it's really, what? It's 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, yeah, so you're dealing double damage, right? So it's 3 damage versus 6 damage. Oh. Still have to be careful, though, of those arrows from the dock. Good micro here from Andy, but my concern is that this is just too slow. That said, you are going to force your opponent to garrison, which, you know, certainly has value. But look how far ahead Andy is, oh, sorry, ACCM is already. Yeah, I really don't see the naval rework as a net positive. And maybe it is in pure, like, maps like Islands. But the issue is, tournaments don't like those sorts of maps. These sorts of maps, not only does every tournament have them, but they're like the most picked maps in every tournament. Nope, it's in the ladder map pool, it's not in this map pool. This map pool has no, no regular standard maps in it. Fine picks. Yeah, but remember, guys, Japanese aren't overpowered. People call me insane for saying that Japanese are overtuned. And the crazy thing is, like, Japanese and Mongols and Chinese, the original 3 AOK Asian civs are all some of, like, the very best in the game. I do. Well, it's they actually took a page out of AOM Navy, which I thought was pretty surprising. Because Age of Mythology has the pure triangle, right? You have the arrow ships that beat the ramming ships that beat the siege ships, and the siege ships that beat the arrow ships. So it's like, that's much more of a clear-cut triangle that you upgrade all together all at once. And they have the whole fishing ships garrison and docks for that fire arrows thing. Personally, I think that this just isn't going to work for Andy, because ACCM is still the one who's actually gathering. I mean, yeah, ACCM is getting fended off here, but already 500 resources collected here for a Scion player. He even has Horse Collar, wow. He's selling his stone, and he's not going to be too far away from Castle Age with his 19 farms. That said, Andy does indeed get up to Castle Age faster. Gonna need to do something with it, though. Been a tremendous mistake. I don't know. I think replacing demo ships as like a core unit is not a bad idea. But I just think that, if anything, it's just galleys are impossible to balance for hybrid maps. There's domestication incoming. And love to see what the mid-game plan is here for Andy. By the way, I do think that Etons with these nerfs might actually just be a good balanced civ. Need hybrid maps? Oh, yeah. Same requirements for water balance? Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Close to your opponents, and that's how a lot of tournament maps work, right? Alright, Castle Age is in. What are we going to see here from Andy? He needs to do something with it, like I said. Alright, Fire Lancers are fine. Invest enough? Well, it's like, it works if you've both invested into fishing ships. Then that's like, okay. Indo-Japanese, what are they going to do? Make infantry? Yeah, meanwhile, ACCM is going for cav archers because he actually has the better cav archers versus other, versus Keton cav archers. You don't have bloodlines? Yeah. Oh, Andy's like really trying to go for these Fire Lancers here. Fire Lancers are still good. I actually played a game the other day, as in yesterday. It was Koreans versus Goths on Arena, and I just did like a few Fire Lancers to help take map control. I ended up with like 3-2 relics, I think. And I had a much better eco because going for just a few Fire Lancers is not very hard on your economy. And then I got to Shinkichon rocket carts, and then he died. That was fun. Turns out, Goth's not the best civ against Shinkichon rocket carts! They added the... Wait, what? They did? What civ gets the attack speed bonus? Wait, Byzantines do? Whoa, how did I miss that? No, they don't. Fire ships and Drummonds. At least the tech tree doesn't say they attack faster. In fact, their Carracks aren't very good because they miss Blast Furnace. Truly one of the matchups of all time. Yeah, but like the day before I played Bengalis versus Romans versus Bengalis, which was legitimately painful and frustrating. Because the Bengalis player just turtled in his base until he had Elephant Archer plus Onager. I mean, the wiki, of course, could be wrong. The tech tree could also be wrong, so remind me to double-check it when the game is over, Kingy. Oh, it's on Arena. Ballistics is coming in. But right now, you're just using a few trash units here and there against Cav Archers, and ACCM will be better off over time. He is only on 2 TCs to 3, but his eco's been a lot more streamlined. More playable? I don't think so. Goths can at least try to overwhelm an early imp. Romans don't do anything that Bengalis can't deal with. You can't go aggressive as Romans because Bengalis have a better monk defense. Bengalis have as good a pure boom as Romans do. And all they need to do is just sit back until they get to Elephant Archer plus Onager. Work is good. It isn't good for hybrid maps. It's probably just fine for pure water maps. Like our, islands and migration and stuff like that. The issue is, those maps get played in tournaments so significantly less. Alright, important quick balls there. Yeah, I think the issue for my opponent in that game, the Goths versus Koreans game, is that he invested a lot in going light cav for middle map control, which... It's a lot of investment to go for light cav. Especially because I just went for a few Fire Lancers. Is that Czech? Incas versus Burgundians? Yeah, that's rough. That's real rough. Should be converted? Yeah, I mean, the way, again, the way it actually played out is that I was able to snipe the monks with my scout cavalry. So I got a couple monk snipes, and then I just camped my own monks with my Fire Lancers, and that was a big help. 4th TC now here for ACCM. Again, he's still ahead of the Ketons player in Eco. And that is all down to efficiency. And look at the macro for ACCM, man. Dude's a monster. Is this more entertaining? No. Again, the water rework might be eventually a net positive on water maps. Like islands, migration, team islands, Pacific islands. The true glub fish swim galley shoot. That thing. Huge push here from ACCM, by the way. Replacing messages, yeah. Samurai? No. Oh my goodness, Andy's going for the Liao Dao. I really like Liao Dao, man. They're such a cool unit. I think the balance issues of Ketons have really overshadowed the fact that the Civ, I think, is fairly cohesive. But, like, look at this guy. He's like a huge freaking sword. The Final Fantasy VII sword? Yeah. It's a fun unit. And like I said, I think that Tetons do infantry and cavalry as a civ concept in a very different way than Bulgarians do. Anyway, the thing with the Liao Dao is that, well, one, they can't bleed siege weapons. In the same way you can't poison siege weapons. And they're expensive. Oh, he Harrison the Skirmisher! Rip. Yeah, I think that ACCM's just going to click up to Imperial Age. The eco is simply too messy here for Andy. Like, look at this. He's also got Handcart and Heavy Plow does ACCM, so even without an eco bonus at this stage, look at this difference in food and wood collected. Dude, Liao Dao beat Samurai? It's probably at least semi-competitive. Samurai are a lot better versus buildings. They're also much better against ranged units because of the charge attack. But in a head-on fight, the Liao Dao, I mean, that's what Liao Dao are also specialized in, right? Is like these just head-on, straight-up in melee fights. Whereas Samurai are a bit more versatile. Also, Samurai are cheaper. Treadmill crane, baby. Anyway, Tower's now coming in here, and it's like, Japanese feel like the perfect civ for this map. Samurai are being made. Andy's about to click up. Yeah, they have the reflect damage, but only once you get lamellar armor. Yeah, I don't really see any win condition here for ACCM. Or, sorry, no, I don't see any win condition for Andy. I definitely do for ACCM. Got Yasuma on the way. It's all looking pretty ogre. Yeah. Castle coming in here from ACCM. HCA on the way here. Good to know that we have a top tier HCA civ with Japanese. Got to Baruto, keep coming in. See, I think that Japanese had an underwhelming win rate on Arabia. So they wanted to buff the unit in a way that would mostly impact Arabia, but I think they were unsuccessful in that. endeavor. The glorious Saracen cav archers? Yeah, I know. Literally, guys, Andy just has skirmishers. Yep. That game was definitely very one-sided. Way more of everything. Good KD. 4 relics. Hey guys. I'm trying angle to sit at that doesn't hurt my neck. Because the thing is, my chair is kind of low. All right, so Coastal Arena is next. Finally a hybrid map. All right, guys, Andy's going to be here in the orange as the Armenians to the west of Coast Arena, and to the southeast in the cyan as the Spanish. It will be ACCM. All righty. Monday. Yeah, so currently ACCM 2-0. He dropped a game to Lewis. But right now he is going to be sitting pretty at 6 points himself. So if he wins this series, he will be back on top of first place in the group. Sebastian, though, as well, also has to play his set versus Nikov. And if Sebastian does well there, he could also surpass ACCM. So at this point, Andy kind of needs this series to stay alive because he's going to dip to 0-3 very shortly if he doesn't pick up this game. So Andy definitely going to need to pick up the win here. And so is ACCM. So let's see. Spanish versus Armenians. Now, Armenians should, I think, just be a lot faster than Spanish. That said, this is our first Spanish game with new missionaries. So we shall have to see. But you'd think that the Armenian eco being better than Spanish would be a huge difference maker. Ramon Tagavor. Are you going to start to, like, wall in the back This way. A little bit of a scuffle there. That, like, ACCM has 2 extra hits on his opponent's scout. Both have good early start. You do save resources here as the Armenians, though. It's only 60 wood, 15 food for a mule cart. And so his dock is going to be coming in sooner than his counterpart. He also has the extra house. Ah, okay, he's got the extra bill chopping wood here as well. Was Monday? Guerra. Yeah, look at this. Nice build here for Andy. He's already got his first fishing ship out. ACCM's first fishing ship isn't queued up. Now remember, ACCM doesn't have a Dark Age bonus like his opponent does, but it's a good utilization of that Dark Age bonus here for Andy to make sure he gets that slight fishing ship advantage. Constri. Well, one, yeah, I'm sure, for sure.
Monday?
Nika Vandy set? Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think that's the most likely set of results. Second dock coming in. No second dock yet here for ACCM. Now, we have to imagine ACCM is doing something in the Fast Castle family of builds. It doesn't really behoove Spanish to stick around in Feudal Age any longer than they need to. I suck? Yeah, I do. Such is my lot in life. All right. We have a 5th fishing ship out. Some might even call it a 5th fishing ship. And just good early play here. That's it. ACCM clicks up 27 pop. But he's already going to stone, so this is going to be a very quick castle drop. Interesting. Andy's still queuing up vills, but 28 pop here with 4 fishing ships means 23 vills. This is really as quick of a fast castle into conquistadors as you could go for with this map. Really not leaning into the aquatic aspect whatsoever. Into missionary. I mean, it's going to be a castle drop, right? He's on stone, but could that fast castle to missionaries be viable now? Absolutely. Absolutely. The jokes are too easy to make, man.
Servidora?
Yep. Missionaries do get relics very fast. Let's see how ACCM can even afford this fast castle. Is he going to sell stone? Market. Can't even quite afford a blacksmith yet. I mean, this is fast, for sure. Still kind of struggling to see how he gets all the food he needs, though. Third dock even coming in here for Andy. Up, up. All right, 16 seconds idle time. Not perfect, but good enough. You can see ACCM is ahead in food collected as he's just sent more vills to food early on. He's been gathering from the forage bushes. Andy has not. This actually is going to make the fast castle itself much faster for our Cyan player. Now, Andy's still going to be pretty quickly up. I mean, it is 12 fishing ships to 4. He has 10 more vills in total. There's even the fishing lines upgrade incoming. So it's not like it's a feudal boom, but he is getting those eco upgrades first. And, you know, he'll get up to Castle Age pretty darn soon here with all of the Fisky mothers. And now Andy's the one who's on stone. So maybe his spidey senses are tingling. He doesn't even see the stone of his opponent yet. And now we have ACCM going on over here to gold. And here we go. Gonna be quick Castle Age time into the Conquistadores. Got one Hulk on the way. But Andy is also up, and obviously his eco is going to be a lot better. Versus the Armenian unique unit, I mean, still pretty good. Composite Bowman over time can trade efficiently, but you need to be getting those upgrades in. All right, here we are. Use it up all at once, yeah. Got one Hulk on the way here from Andy. Monastery here for ACCM as well. Andy's on the run. Yeah, how are you gonna not die here, Andy? I mean, it's a very, very good quick build here from ACCM. He is gonna run out of food very soon, though. Only has the 4 fishing ships. The forage bushes are about to be depleted. He has no farms. That wall's going down. Oh, first Ville there gets sniped. No loom researched. Yeah. All right, fortified church and a second TC coming in on the stone here to the north, but the conks are in. Loom is now researched, but that's going to be a dead Ville. Uh-oh. Remember, this is with the fortified church nerf. I don't think fletching is in either. It is not. That's a very important upgrade. Some fun Hulk on Hulk action. There are more Hulks in total right now for Andy. He's going to snipe his opponent's fish. Still trying to work towards his own defensive castle. And there's the missionary with the relic. Another fortified church. Yes, good changes to the fortified church as well. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to go on to food at this point. Million, thanks for the raid. No, it's not. And that's what I was saying. Like, he had no farming eco until very, very recently, and he lost his fish. Siege Workshop's coming in here as well. First 3 relics to 1 is helpful. Sanctity now coming in on the monks, though. Yeah, of course. That's what I do. Another dock here to the north, and those 13 fishing ships with even fishing lines. No gill nets yet, but you do have the first one. I mean, yeah, this TC doesn't do a whole lot now. Those vills on food are going to be in jeopardy. Need to get going onto the stone. So that's going to be some more kills here for ACCM.
Sì, mande. Presto.
5 relics, man. ACCM has gobbled them all up with his missionary. All you get is the one that you have for free with Armenians. TC number 3 coming in now for Orange, but I mean, it's been a very slow march towards additional defenses. What is interesting, though, is he's not really respecting the second castle. Because with all of the not getting his own defensive castle up, he's basically banking on ACCM not just having a ton of vills on stone for, like, another castle over here. He's not the gobble civ. That's true. That's only the Sicilians. That said, this TC is definitely going down. Nothing you can do against the Rams there. Siege Workshop now for Orange. I mean, getting all this eco is good. But what can you do with it? Oh, he also healed up his injured scout cavalry. And there we go. TC down, even before Wheelbarrow came in. More fishing ships, though. Atonement coming in right now for ACCM. Now, the thing is, in the pure monk war, missionaries should still be worse than regular monks. Because of that shorter range. So you can just start converting sooner. And here we are, forward castle. Inquisition would be good. Now, that's true. Inquisition is pretty darn good. I do indeed hear no one expects it. But where are the monks? Oh my goodness, the monks are not in position. Uh-oh. Oh, no. That might be it, guys. That might be it right there. Yep. That's it. Uh-huh. 3-0. Well, I mean, the monks didn't even start converting, right? They didn't have atonement, and they couldn't get in on time. That was very poor positioning. Oh, jeez. 12 vills behind. Got monks and missionaries here. Servidor. 10 behind, yep. Yeah, it was just that poor positioning. Second TC now coming in for ACCM. Oh, wait, did he? Oh my goodness, he did lose all his fishing ships as well. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this season of TTL feels honestly pretty one-sided. I have to say, I'm a little concerned that we're just going to end up with the top players obliterating everyone else. I mean, yeah, obviously insane KD there from ACCM. Feels like a lot of 3-0s from the players that you would expect to do well. Alright guys, it's probably going to be Dawe versus Damwiska. So are we going to indeed see our very first sighting of a new civilization here with the Last Chieftains DLC? And is it going to be anything other than a Chompy rush? Does Wiska do the Chompy rush the worst of all of the civs? But you can still do it, of course. High tides, because it's so fun. And indeed, guys, we're getting it. We are getting it. I'm going to get some coffee, guys. And we'll get our first new Civ sighting in a major tournament. And it's from ACCM, of course, of all people.
Greetings, Lautaro. Lead the men to freedom.
Alrighty, guys, are you ready? Are you ready? Thank you, Major Sorhan, with the 15 months in Hello T West. Here we are, guys, in the orange, needing a win. It'll be freaking Andy as the way to the northwest. And here we are, the very first time we are seeing one of the last chieftain civilizations in a AoE 2 tournament. ACCM is going to be the Cyan Muisca, so remember, Civ bonuses. Advancing to the next stage is less gold. That doesn't matter in the Dark Age. Settlements are cheaper, which is huge for an early rush, and the healing is also there. Chompy warriors get extra melee armor as do your archery range units. Monks regenerate faith faster, and caravan guilds are free, and of course the gold lasts longer. So it's still not the most aggressive Civ. A lot of sort of expensive units. They're much more of the closed map Civ than either the Mapuche or the Tupi. That said, all three of these Civs are really fun. I finished the Tupi campaign yesterday, and it's, yeah, like, it's a lot of fun just overwhelming your opponent with your Tupi warriors. Still, nothing else with this Civ will matter half the time because of the barracks. The early rush potential here. Like I said, it's worse for this Civ. Like, basically the hierarchy goes Incas, Tupi, Mapuche, Muisca for the Chompy rush. I guess hierarchy, yeah. And it's very, very traditional. It's like all build and destroy campaign scenarios. I mean, to be fair, Three Kingdoms was the exact same. It was almost exclusively traditional build and destroy scenarios. Of the 15 campaign scenarios we got in the last DLC, only 2 of them were anything other than traditional build and destroy. Anyway, here we go. Yeah, here we go. Campaigns are great. I've only played 2 of them so far, but they are very good, for sure. Yeah, this is the Chompy stuff. Like I said, Muisca are the worst of the 4 civs that can do this. All the other civs were banned for South America. But here we are. Gotta be careful, here they come. Good quick walls. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. But yeah, this is like a little bit faster than a regular Drush timing because of the speed of the Chompy scouts, but not that big of a deal overall. 5 stone was spent by ACCM. Did he build an outpost? He did. Look at that. Using the Chompy's outpost building capabilities is cute. But you just have to go for the very early quick walls. It's really the same exact premise as against a Drush. Well, what's Andy doing? He's up fast. He's gonna get his eco upgrades, I'm sure. And I guess an archery range? EBA and a spearman. Remember, the Chompies lose really hard to scout cavalry in Feudal Age. They just don't have the HP. And here's the archery range. Stone cost? Yeah, but that's the only thing that prevents outposts from being spammed all over the place. You need to not have that. More Chompies, guys. Oh, gets the scout cavalry there. And remember, now you are in Feudal Age, they get 1 extra melee armor. And remember, it would have been considered OP if Teutons had this for their swordsmen. The Ethiopians, that's because Ethiopians never get played in the first place. Alright, need to wall. Need to wall. Need to wall. Nope, not in time. And archers coming in, though. I mean, this is just a very aggressive opening. And because of it, ACCM is ahead in resources as his own eco. Not very threatened. He's only built 5 houses. Be pretty strong, that's true, yeah. A buff or a rework? I mean, I talk about it in State of the Civs. Well, will we see the unit that we have 6 of on the field already? But this is the thing, guys. You're using that aggression to take the free food behind it. The big downside for this whole play in the first place is that you don't have the food necessarily to follow it up. Because this is a lot of food you're dumping into units. It's not cheap in the slightest. But because you are able to get free food over your opponent, then it becomes absolutely worthwhile. I mean, Chompies are also very good against skirmishers, specifically. Gonna build an outpost over here. In his... no, you cannot do that. The Chompy are the civ that do that, not the Muisca. Scale mail armor coming in. We do have fletching in. But right now, the Chompies just heavily outnumber the archers. And right now, things are looking tricky. Now, the Wei are going to have a much better eco than the Muisca over time. But right now, it's just all that resource advantage right now is ACCM, and that's because of the map. This is not something you can actually do on regular Arabia because you don't have all of this extra free food. You just have to completely rely on farms, which you're, you don't have to do on this map, obviously. Up. Gonna get a Vil. Nicely done. Oh, no. And of course, when you're under so much pressure, it is simply impossible to fully wall yourself. Oh, but here we are. Archers on the other side. Andy, looking to do some counterattack damage. Uh-oh, this is the risk you run. Fadeaway shot there. Oh, the TC gets that extra volley off, which is huge. That's so huge. And it's an equal amount of damage being dealt on the other side. And now, yeah, the farms coming in. 9 farms versus 11. Your eco is still better overall. But like I was saying, guys, once you get past the initial Chompy rush, the unit is a lot less overbearing than you might think it is. Relatively speaking, Chompies are at their strongest in Dark Age to early Feudal Age. Now I think they just feel like a regular old unit. Outpost. Oh, he did. That's cute. I mean, yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's costing stone, right? So it's not like you can just go ahead and plop these down and still have, like, sell stone to get a faster castle age time. But, I mean, it's a good bonus for the unit. Yes, Chompies are solid at every stage in the game. Like, they're a good unit, but now Muisca are going to feel like just another civilization, and you are going up against the Wei, who are one of the best civs out there. Yeah, until Castle Age, but the advantage is oftentimes having them in the early game. But ACCM is on his way up. Like I keep saying, the big thing is that he was able to get all of that extra food. And being behind in wood collected doesn't really matter right now. He has horse collar in, he's on the second barracks, and it's just more Chompies. Quick walling with them? Oh, jeez. Timing is too good. We'll see. 100 stone was sold. More outposts coming in. Gold mining upgrade coming in. They're averaging Castle Age? Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing, is what, like, Chompies are awful against Haeguang Cav. And I think part of the reason that Chompies feel so good is that they're good against ranged units, and that's like the most popular thing in the current metagame. But you can see here they are going to be going down. Want to Haeguang? Absolutely. And right now, you just don't have what you need to defend or even make that switch. And now those units are all caught up with their pants down. Also, these skirmishers have done nothing. Siege Workshop coming in as well. Gonna keep up that pressure. And here we are, units flooding on in. And And it's just such a tough defense to make happen. This castle age timing difference is brutal. And again, I think that's part of that is slopes here with just getting that extra food exactly when you need it. Okay, you need that to be a Haguan Cav. Okay, I'm not sure why that isn't a Haguan Cav, honestly. But yeah, I think the timing is just too good. Now you have a monk and a temple guard on the way. Well, the timing was too good because he was open. But I think the issue is that you just don't have the opportunity to actually wall up. And also he's trying to go for the ranged units. But yeah, now he's super dead. And the Chompy rush is overpowered. I mean, no question about it. And there we go. 23 Chompies made. The Temple Garden Ram didn't do anything. You only needed to make one unit. And it was really that food difference that was the kicker. Have made a difference for... And I mean, the archers did a lot of damage. The issue is that it's really, really tough to defend. To defend against all this. Like, yeah, he got the counterattack damage in, but because ACCM got all that extra food, so he could go for, like, a food-intensive early unit and delay the farms enough. Unit. Well, Scouts with Bloodlines trade well against them, and Men-at-Arms still trade efficiently versus them. The issue is that you can pick fights, right? So yeah, completely overwhelming there. But I do think that it all stems from the fact that the unit is a little too good in the early game. Like Dark Age into early Feudal Age. Because if you're able to wall up more against them, and it's not as fast, then it's going to look a lot different. Anyway, that's huge for ACCM. He is now 8-1. Andy 0-3 in the group. Only 2 wins, 7 losses. Good eco? Exactly. Until Castle. Well, I mean, the thing is they do need the unit to be semi-decent. I think that slowing down their Dark Age train speed is going to be one important step you can take. And I think what you need to do is reduce the movement speed in Dark Age, give them more line of sight, and then give them 1 more bonus damage versus shock infantry so that they don't just die to Eagle Warriors. Like, the unit is overtuned, but it's not like it's unsalvageable or anything like that. All right, guys, next set is MbL versus Barles, which is going to be a huge one. Nerf the Dark Age Chompy. I like the fact that you need to pay for the Feudal Age upgrade. I mean, it is a swordsman equivalent. Like perfect. I know, Rob C. Believe it or not, I'm not insane. Because like I keep saying, the unit is overpowered because of how fast they come out and how fast they do damage to you and prevent you from walling up. Once you get some early walls in, the unit's going to look a lot less impressive. At least one, I hope they can fix them fast, that's for sure. I do think that this sort of thing should have been figured out, but I think part of the issue is that they don't have enough high-level players testing all this stuff before release. Like, they certainly do testing, but I don't know if the people they do the testing with are good enough to really just pick apart how broken something is. In a specific interaction like this. Offered to help them? The thing is, the testing would need to happen in the earlier stages before stuff gets shipped, right? Because, think about it. The pro players would need to have early access, like really early access, which I don't think they trust. Betas for the DLCs? Yeah, I mean, I would like that, but I think the timetables are really tricky because, again, like, it needs to be early enough that they could make adjustments before you have the launch version of the game, and that's going to be a while. And it's like, do you really want people to have access to all of the new toys and figuring stuff out so that you can't have that be new and exciting when the DLC actually goes live? Like, it really does decrease the hype itself of the actual launch if people already see and know exactly how all the stuff works. People stuff out. They had the pup, but that's going to mostly be for balance changes and not brand new content. Because, again, you need people to do all that. Is Nelly involved in the testing? I imagine he's involved to some degree, but that's not his main job. But for whatever reason, and I don't know the logistics behind this, it seems pretty locked up for like almost a month ahead of a DLC launch that, okay, this is the launch version that we're going with, and so we're not making any more adjustments, and for like a month beforehand. Pros streaming? Well, I don't think the streaming really is going to be all that much of an indicator. Player jump? I have no idea. Now just a little. I know. And yet, for some reason, that seems to be impossible to do. The new civs? I think they're all really fun. Bureaucracy CBS? What else would be an indicator? I just think that the overall streaming community is quite small for AoE 2. Like, if anything, look at like Spirit of the Law's viewer numbers or like a T90 or Hera viewer numbers relative to like previous expansions. All right, are we getting the drafts and stuff yet? But yeah, like other than the Chompy Rush, I think the new civs are not overtuned at all, and I think they're a lot of fun. The issue is that the Chompy Rush happens in the early game every single game. So it's really hard to break past the thing that's overbearing to get to the part where it's not overbearing. And that's what happens when you have something that's broken in early game versus something that's broken in late game, right? Because every game goes to the early game. Mirrors, yeah. I think it's really tricky, and I feel like there's a lot of bureaucracy in AoE too. So that's kind of hard to overcome. Also, it feels like they have too many overlapping responsibilities with different games. It feels like I don't even know how many people are entirely devoted to AoE 2. Like, how much of Forgotten Empires and World's Edge is not involved at all with, like, AOM DLC and stuff like that, or the AoE 4 expansions? Because back when it was just AoE 2 DE and before all that other stuff came out, the patches came a lot more frequently. And I know that there's overlap, like a lot of overlap where people have is also still, yeah, no, and the thing is it's Forgotten Empires who's doing most of the stuff for it, right? So, and it's all the same World's Edge team that does all the publishing. The helps Gurmgrad. I mean, it's definitely solid for sure. Game is still played a lot? Oh, absolutely. Kind of busted? Yeah, but you still don't have the mobility options. Alright. No. Yeah. Uh-huh. But yeah, I really do think that the level of polish needed is simultaneously too high in that they need to have something that's like really stable and works properly to launch, and that's like slowing things down dramatically in terms of how many changes they can implement before the live version. And it's also not polished enough because they can launch the DLC and update the game, and like the achievements just like break for everybody, right? And then you have the Chompy Rush, which is very clearly overtuned. And they just don't have the agility to be able to react to those issues. But I think that's just like an organizational problem. But I do think that there's a lack of leadership and organization at World's Edge. Last cheat? I don't know. We don't have any information. All right, now we got the drafts. Okay, they're doing the map draft right now. We got Valley and Quarry, so no hybrid maps yet. But by the way, guys, I am a guaranteed shill for AoE 2. And I don't hold the devs accountable to anything, and all I do is spout drivel about how amazing everything is. It sells DLCs. I mean, there's a difference between wanting stuff at launch to be strong and, like, we're launching stuff that's just incredibly overpowered. So they would err on the side of something being a little too strong than too weak, but they still absolutely want things at least relatively balanced. Because it's a very bad look if you know, just the new stuff crushes everything. Thank you, little Bobby. Alright, guys. Inca ban. I mean, MbL's gonna ban all the new civs. Plus Incas. Watch this. This is gonna be the new civs. Guarantee it. Yep. And arguably, Incas are even the best of the South American civs right now. I mean, I really think that they are the most oppressive of all. All right, where's my Tupi? Yep, there we go. Most predictable set of bans ever. My chicken? What? Combusted on top? Settlements are kind of annoying in early game. Because they're expensive and you have to, like, place these big chunky buildings down that are kind of hard to, like, position perfectly around resources. The thing is, they would be awful if they didn't provide that 5 pop space. Like, they need to be more expensive than a mill or mining camp. Like, that that's just how that works. But they also, yeah, need to provide that pop space. I mean, they sometimes save you another camp, but oftentimes they don't. It depends on the map and map gen. I know, it's bizarre. Five pop. That's a very easy change they could make if need be. Why is it a thing with the Chompies? Because the Chompies move faster. They move 0.2 tiles per second faster. So it's the difference between a spearman and a plumed archer. Make up for the wood sale. Yeah, I mean, I think settlements are fine. And I think thematically, settlements are really cool. Like, it's a good way to represent the fact that all the South American peoples were much more spread out and decentralized. And militia do outrun villagers, but not by that much, right? Villagers have 0.8 tiles per second move speed. Chompies don't care. Well, Chompies do care. You still need to get the upgrade for men-at-arms, right? Or Chompy runners. And again, remember that the Chompies are also overpowered in the early game because they're attached to strong early game civs on top of it. If you attach Chompy runners to Koreans, they wouldn't be, like, anywhere near as overbearing. Or force fight? Yep. More speed than foot archers? Yes, indeed. Or Mapuche not good for... Mapuche aren't very good for team games in general because they don't slot into, like, a specialized niche. Generally speaking, in team games, you want civs that are specialized, and in 1v1s, you want civs that have versatility. Wrecked by Ellie's? I mean, you have tanky halbs, but, yeah. OP. I'm a little concerned about the Blackwood archers. Everything else I think is fine. Maybe Kona's in early Castle Age. All right, let's go. 2 base damage? I don't think they should be that weak. They do only have 20 HP. But bad pathfinding is, I think, one of the reasons that Blackwoods feel really good. Much for an archer? I mean, they die in, like, 2 hits to everything. It does matter. Range damage? I mean, it may be. I do think that the unit's a little too good. That said, it still dies pretty darn hard to siege. And Tupi in general die really hard to siege. Late? I mean, they're usually worse than Cav archers. Like, what were they doing well against in late game? There aren't that many situations where Bolas riders are better than heavy Cav archers. They're a little bit better than HCA against specifically Cav. But not by much. It's like very slightly better than fully upgraded heavy cav archers. On step? Oh, I haven't seen the reworked step, actually. Let me take a look at it. Oh, they're like little hills everywhere. Oh. It also feels like there's less wood. Like it's harder to defend early on. Damage? Well, that's just being ridiculous. Don't patrol stack. Did you start? No, it started. I'm just purposely not casting it. The poles buff? What buff are poles? Oh, to with their farms, right? No sarcasm. Too late. Alright, guys, so for Zimbabwe, really any of the civs are good for Barles. Byzantine ships? Oh, yeah, I did not test it. Up, too late. Nope, just kidding. Okay, let's actually see here. I forgot to give myself Dark Age buildings. Alright, 1.75. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. That's normal. Yeah. They don't attack faster. All right, Zimbabwe time. Oops. Alrighty, guys, series number 2 of the day, probably the last one I'll cast, but we'll have MbL here in the orange as the Malay to the west of Zimbabwe. And Koreans here for Barles in the purple to the east. So, 2 civs, very, very strong. Remember that Fire Lancers have been nerfed. Although they're still going to be quite good for Koreans. Malay are still probably the single best civ in the game, though. Overall. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Malay. Their eco is going to be so much better than Koreans. But what I want... Why... Wait, what is this? He has fewer villagers here on food. Ah! How'd I categorize it? It's an aggressive closed map. If you're wondering what the heck is an aggressive closed map, that sounds like an oxymoron. Just think of like the wall. It's a pretty fun one though. I like it. Lots of elephants here. 6 elephants. And was that 4 rhinos?
Swasti.
MbL40C.
Yeah?
Post-feudal age. Yeah, I mean, it definitely plays out very differently than Arena. It's also kind of like Bosmo as well. Another aggressive closed map. That was a pretty fun one. But there are a lot of different levers you can pull to make interesting AoE maps when you actually take out the hybrid aspect, in my opinion. Like both open maps, semi-open maps, semi-closed maps, closed maps, like aggressive closed maps, boomy closed maps. Like you can make a lot of different land map categories. The water level all the way to one side, yeah. All right. But this is obviously a very fast rush from MbL. The concern, though, is that Malay, not really a Dark Age civ. The advantage of Malay is getting up to the next age, not sticking around in the Dark Age. Maps alignment chart, something like that. Now, if you get a huge pachyderm advantage, shall we say, the game is usually immediately won or lost at that point. Which is why I think that the weakest part of this map is all the elephants on it and rhinos. Like, if it was just some chickens or whatever, then I think it would be a bit more interesting, personally. And we can see MbL taken here from 2 of the further away elephants. Remember, there are 6 in total. There are 2 militia out here on the map patrolling. And Barles is just not bothered. He's just hanging around. Just living his life, man. Hashtag self-care. But this series, guys, is very, very important because these are 2 of the guys that, alongside Tato, are really going to be looking to snag that 2nd and 3rd spot, right? Obviously, huge difference between 3rd and 4th, in that 2nd and 3rd get to move on to the playoffs, whereas 4th place does not. So, super important. Like, Leary's almost certainly going to run away with 1st place in the group. So, the remaining spots are very competitive. Anyway, despite the heavy early investment, you're not delaying much idle time. That's actually really annoying. Long distance, that's absolutely the meta here. People have gotten too good at it from Black Forest. One change I'd like to see is that if an animal is aggroed onto you, then it shouldn't nicely get out of the way if you try and place a building foundation. So you can't do the whole thing where you just try and place the house foundation and just stops the animal from aggroing you whenever it gets too close. It actually brings back danger to long-distance lures.
syahsananya baginda?
Iya. Apa sasananya baginda? Swasti.
But like, deer and like de-aggroed like boars and stuff won't they'll nicely move out of the way for you. Anyway, feudal age on the way, 25 pop here for Barles.
준비.
See what the plan is. MbL as the Malay can stick around in Dark Age a bit longer, which is totally fine because of the faster age up. But right now, you're really lacking in food for Barles. Like, look at this. He's going to run out of those water buffalo very, very soon. He's already gotten a lot of that food taken from the forage bushes. And right now, MbL is just freely getting all this food.
Sasananya baginda?
Iya.
That would be huge.
Apa syahsananya?
And because the scout is low HP for Barles, there's really nothing he can do. I mean, he can try and block a little bit, but that's going to be very difficult.
Yasa
Exactly.
baginda.
And he's still going to make like a... Oh, wait, he doesn't have loom? Oh, the Vil! Oh, no! The Vil still goes down.
Iya.
Okay, and then... all right. I guess you could say that was worth it.
Syahsananya baginda.
Now the elephants aren't even underneath the town center, or elephant and rhino are not underneath the TC. And that is a very real loss. Meanwhile, Barles is just gonna, click on up to Castle Age. MbL still 31 pop in the Dark Age. It would be on 32 had he not lost the Vil. And he's way behind in resources for the time being. That said, of course, a lot of Vils are on hunt. A little late with the gold, but just auto drop off,
Apa syahsananya?
and you're good to go. On the way up.
Apa sasananya
MbL going to try and continue to get more food, though. Yet it seems unlikely that he'll be able to quickly afford a Castle Age. Yeah, considering that he wasn't really able to get much of food out from the outside, this is going to be a pretty smooth Castle Age timing. I'll answer. Nope, wrong patch. That was heavily nerfed. I do say I really think the balance patch was a very good one. One of the better balance patches we had in a long time because it was like all nerfs to the most silly stuff in the game. Horse collar and bed axe here for MbL, so I guess it's going to be like a little bit of a feudal boom. He's going to have a market and blacksmith on the way, but he's still going to be a bit of a ways off from clicking up. Actually, no, he cancels DBA.
대기.
Swasti. Siap. Swasti.
Siap.
Apa sasananya baginda?
Oh, boy. For Dark Age farms? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're getting the extra food. Now, I really need to, you need to relearn how that works. At least I do. Because, I'm still waiting for Horse Collar before placing farms or Heavy Plow or whatever. You really just don't need to bother. All right, good quick walls there. You have to remember that his opponent still has the Militia and Scout Cavalry on pretty high HP, so good play there from Barles, good play there from Barles, and he's just chilling. He's just chilling like a villain.
Iya.
Apa syahsananya baginda?
Now, here's the thing, though, guys. Malay have a very significantly better eco than Koreans. Malay top-tier eco, Koreans bottom-tier eco. Malay, huge timing potential, and if there's anything Koreans don't like dealing with, it's an opponent who's an age ahead of them. Koreans are very good at fighting their opponents who are in the same age as them, because that's when your defenses and counter units are going to work at their best. But if you're an age behind, then you're going to start worrying about, enemy monks in siege if they're, up to Imperial Age faster, or, elephants in siege if they're up to faster here in the case of Malay, to Castle Age. And MbL with a much faster Imperial Age time could be disastrous for Koreans to deal with. That said, if you can survive, if you can make the eco differential not as painful, the Korean military is going to obliterate the Malay military, especially if you get to rocket carts. War wagons are also pretty solid in general. Yeah, so it's still, you want to get the farm upgrades earlier on. I don't know what percentage of 7519 is. But there's some fancy math equation that I don't understand. Like the change overall? It does matter in the sense that, like, it nerfs civs like Franks. You get the upgrade for free. Or even a civ like Burmese, who can get it very easily because you don't have to pay for double bit X, which is always going to be a higher priority. But I think for the majority of the player base, it just makes their lives easier in a way that doesn't overall reduce the skill level. And you're still incentivized, I think, you are incentivized to get it earlier. And I think that's very important. Like, if it just gave you the total extra food, no matter what, I think it really actually takes a lot of skill away from the game. And it came to good optimal farm placement with, like, upgrades, and managing your farming is one of the most important macro tools in Age of Empires. So I think, you know, do I think it was like a super necessary change? No, but I don't hate it, and I think it's going to make life easier for the majority of the player base. All right, barracks coming in. You can apply pressure with some fire lancers and mangonels / rocket carts if you want to. The lancers of fire are on the way. Just what? 3 more wood? Permaculture farm. For Sicilians, yeah, it definitely helps Sicilians a lot. Upgrade to get. Yep, exactly. I also think that it makes getting Horse Collar in Feudal Age a much more appealing prospect than doing, like, what Hera popularized, which was skipping it until you're on your way up to Castle Age for the second round of farms. Effect upgrades to fishing... Oh, fish traps? No. Fish traps have never benefited from farming upgrades. It's just 715 food unless you're Malay, who get triple that. All right, Tower Siege Workshop. Barles gonna apply this nice mid-castle age pressure with the Koreans. They're certainly a very good civ for doing that. And anything to keep your Malay opponent from just freely booming into a fast imp, I think, is very helpful. Fish. That doesn't give you more food on the farms, though. Or on the fish traps, rather. Part of the food boost? Yes, you do. At least in theory. Bodler says it doesn't work, and then obviously I haven't had time to test everything. Anyway, Castle Time coming in here from MbL. It's still an interesting civ matchup between these two, even if I think both civs are a little overtuned right now. Still a good one. Gambit Skill Fire Lancers? Yes. Very efficiently. I mean, obviously not 1-for-1, because Karambits did barely beat anything 1-for-1, but because of that shock infantry armor, Karambits will get a little bit of extra bonus damage against them. We could click on the unit, but they're all stuck in the castle, which of course makes my life more complicated than I'd like it, but them's the breaks. Anyway, TC here under a lot of pressure from this nice push from Barles. That actually looks really nice with the new flags. I had no idea this change was happening until I saw it in the patch notes with you guys, but it's really nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, here we are. So yeah, you can see get 2 bonus damage against shock infantry. So huge buff there for the Karambits who all have low base attack. Fun with flags. Isn't that from The Big Bang Theory? I remember seeing that episode, I think. Up. Oh, beautiful attack round from Barles. Let's go. All right, ballistics and fletching both on the way, but another castle here from Mr. Morton. You can see the flag here for the Asian civs as well. Has some Japanese character on it, I think. But this is tricky for both players because, on the one hand, this is most of your farming eco. Yeah, almost all of your farming eco here is Barles, and that's going to be getting denied, forcing a huge migration. That said, this is not getting stopped anytime soon. Especially with the good attack round. Oh, is it the Genoese flag? Yeah, that's fun. That is fun with flags. All right, Fire Lancers are actually kind of going down. All of the Fire Lancers are dead, so obviously Karambits, if they can dodge those rocket cart hits, that's exactly what you are going to want. Not the zebra! What the heck did that ever do to you? Oh, it's tough, guys. I mean, it's beautiful micro from Barles, but it's just not, I think, physically possible to kill all those Karambits. And now, this is a disaster for Barles, losing all of these rocket carts, and that's just because all the Fire Lancers ended up biting the dust. You're gonna have some more towers coming in. You're gonna try and hold the line. No castle yet. You have plenty of stone for it, though. Hello, Epic Sea Dragon. Still no Bodkin either. 4th TC here for MbL. He has a big villager count, but is behind in overall resources due to getting pushed heavily. We get big farming even over here on the side. Eco upgrades are similar. Around 23 Karambit warriors. Look at this. Ramming speed. More farms having to be abandoned here. Now, true, Koreans aren't a super food-reliant civilization, but, I mean, this is all a complete mess of a game number 1. Which, of course, is what you'd want to see from these two very good, I'd say, evenly skilled players. Definitely, I'd say in, like, the top, should we say, like, 8 through 12 range, maybe? That ballpark? Oh, no. MbL coming in here, though. Imp is not in yet. The Karambit, yeah. Rambo. He's just running out of army here as Barles. And he's running out of resources. I mean, what is Imp realistically going to give him, guys? You can maybe start trebbing, but you have to be very, very careful about that. Just losing all this eco, man. They're both top 16 at the absolute worst. Probably top 12. Again, kind of in that 8 through 12 range. Diagonal? Yeah, but he just doesn't have the time or space to do that. Alright, defensive rocket carts in. First trebuchets on the Trebu way. And, I mean, almost all of these TCs are very much in trebbing distance. But we have rams coming in. 4 rams on the way here for MbL. He is the very definition of downloading more RAM. Look at this. The choo-choo train is coming back. Racer on its way, but the Fire Lancers are not going to be very good at all versus Karambits. And they're not even getting very well upgraded. Another tower is incoming. Oh boy, and of course this is the problem here. Yes, this is post-patch. So, big Fire Lancer nerfs. I don't think that you can deal with this right now as Barles. It's 49 to 6 army. Barles only at 99 vills. Got more towers coming in. And yeah, MbL does have 60 villagers on food. Got this huge farming eco. With only one Treb, there's not really that much you can do. Another castle over here to the east. With Ram... I don't think so, actually. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, all the civs that have very strong rams just have generally strong siege. Well, I guess, yeah, humans can get Cap Drive and Castle Age and battering rams and Feudal Age. Yep. All right, humans. Barles trying to hang in there, but he can't make a good unit against when his opponent has 57 Karambit warriors on the field. Safe place to click up. I mean, I think he's just going to win the game with Rams and Karambits. I don't even think he needs to worry about aging up. He's going to hit... I mean, I guess he's going to hit 200 population in a moment, but... No, Barles doesn't even have chemistry. He's surely winning? Oh, no. And that was MbL losing a Vill early on. Yeah, Fire Lancer's just going to get eaten for breakfast. They have no upgrades at all. Well, I guess, to be fair, the TC is 30 kills on it. Yeah, MbL's going full Castle Age, but that's fine. He's on 200 population. Yeah, converting Karambits is a very sad prospect. I would like to see Handcart and Heavy Plow in with all of these farms, but, you know, it is what it is. To reiterate, the Fire Lancers are still very bad against Karambits. Who's my favorite? I don't have a single favorite player. Alright, now the eco upgrade's coming in. MbL's on his way up to imp. This game is super over, and MbL is going to be taking game number 1 here in this play all-3. Like to watch? I mean, I certainly have a bit of a bias towards the old-school Tyrant players and Yo and ACCM. That far behind? Yes. It's so he can make his comeback in double jeopardy. He has 12 rams, guys. That's a lot of RAM to download. And this should be GG. Well, it should be GG. I mean, it could have been GG a while ago. To be fair. Elite Karambit, Cap Tram coming in. Yeah, that's true. But to be fair, is there any part, like PC part, that is like a good deal right now?
Apa sasananya Baginda?
The game could even survive those guys retiring? Yeah. Keyboards? But that's not a PC part, that's a PC peripheral. It would be a big blow, though. For sure, if either Viper or Doubt retired. PSU, pounds per square unit? Laptop stickers, a PC part. Gamer LEDs, guys, you're not inspiring a lot of confidence.
Yasa kuka apa shasananya baginda. Yasa kuka baginda. Apa
Power
shasananya
supply?
baginda.
Maybe.
Apa shasananya baginda.
I mean, guys, hand cannons are good against karambits. Don't get me wrong. The numbers are simply not on your side. Last furnace now in. Obviously, that's huge for karambit warriors.
Yasa kuka baginda. Apa shasananya baginda. Yasa kuka baginda.
Yep. Just fell way too far behind. Could not actually get a good unit against the karambit warriors.
Swasti.
Apa shasananya baginda.
Variety light streamer in 1 to 3 years. But does Viper really have many fans outside of Age of Empires? I don't know anyone in AoE 2 who's really, like, got that appeal outside of the AoE 2 community. But yeah, I mean, I think that for Viper, it's unlikely that he'll want to, like, try and grind to be the very best that no one ever was in AoE 2 much longer. Grubby? I don't know. Like, where did Grubby get all those extra fans from? Because, like, he was the guy in Warcraft. Just like Viper was the guy in StarCraft. Anyway, number 1 civ for each player. Yeah, but Kapach isn't huge. Quarry's next. Any of these 3 civs are good for Barles. Any of these 3 civs are good for MbL. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a general gamer, so I'm not somebody who's very well versed in, like, okay, are these guys would be successful doing non-AoE stuff? Like, remember when Hera tried League, guys? That wasn't great. Remember when the AoE 2 guys played AoE 4 and they were generally much less popular than the StarCraft guys? Or the AoE 3 guys? I wonder if we're just too niche. Overall state has improved. I'd say the overall civ balance and design has improved, but the actual game state is worse. All right, guys. 2 minutes to get into the next one. 1 sec. All right. Well, the Gatling got serious than AoE 2. Yeah, I guess that maybe was it. I don't really remember. I'll switch to the Game of Thrones RTS. I'm going to be with no on that one. Yeah, I mean, if I'm not casting High Tides, like, what am I even doing as a streamer? All right, so game number 2 here. This is Barles' home map, and it's going to be him as the purple Vietnamese to the northwest, and MbL as the orange Bohemians to the southeast with 5 on wood already. That's fast. That is very fast. Games, I really lost a lot of interest in Game of Thrones. Like, I was a huge A Song of Ice and Fire fan. I've read the books all once, and I've listened to the audiobooks 2 or 3 times over the course of my life. But the lack of Winds of Winter and how bad Game of Thrones was at the end really sort of put a big damper on the whole universe for me. I mean, if Winds of Winter comes out, I'll probably get back into it, but other than that, I'm probably not that interested. Anyway, Barles is also going to be going with a very early Drush, but he only had 4 on wood. I mean, it's already going to be on 6 on wood. Novellas, I have not, no. I heard they're pretty fun, though. I mean, it's a pre-mill Drush, right? But it obviously could be faster. Like, Barles, this is as fast as you can reasonably do. Bloop. A dream for string? What, is the string missing? Did they forget to input the text? Alright, MbL also going to keep up with some swordsmen here. Even though militia don't actually have swords, but you know what I mean. Look, coming in here from Barles. I mean, this is a matchup where you want to be going in pretty aggressive with Vietnamese. Otherwise, Bohemians are going to clobber you. But unlike, say, Arena, this map can be way more aggressively inclined and give Vietnamese an opportunity to flex their way better eco. All right. Little bit of a scuffle here. I guess it is easier at MbL's eco, considering he didn't go as early with the Drush. And look at this, he's already idling his eco, as he's trying to micro, of course. Barles, meanwhile, going to be grabbing a little bit of a resources lead. Feudal Age on the way, 23 pops, so pretty quick Drush into Feudal Age follow-up. This is pretty Winchester-esque in KOTD 4, where it's like the 2 militia very, very quickly, and then you go up to Feudal Age pretty quickly after that. That said, MbL is okay at the very least. He's still on 27 pop, and he's probably going to want to go FC behind this. The issue for him is that he's going to run out of food, and he's not fully walled. So big, big, big wall incoming. But this is going to be tricky to defend. Barles already almost 60% of the way up. More militia are on their way. Oh, careful! Oh, no. Runs into the TC fire. You know, researching Loom does make your villagers harder to kill. You still have a lot of surface area to cover, though, guys. There's going to be 4 men-at-arms here in a moment. I mean, I love this from Barles. Just don't let MbL get the opportunity to play defensive and get to Bohemian late game. Alright, Vil is surviving for the time being. And look at this, the fight's also happening before Men-at-Arms, so you kind of have to make the choice. Do you want to deny the walling, or do you want to wait for Men-at-Arm? And you're kind of trying to get both. But MbL, very good quick walls there. And now these units are all split up from each other. MbL coming in with some more of his own infantry.
Jestem przyprawiona.
That militia gonna be swinging away. Oh, patrol stacking. I love it. I love all the units stacked on top of each other. Did lose one men-at-arm, though, and no vills have actually died. I mean, okay, that's probably going to be the first one, unless there can be some silly quick walls happening. Okay, that vill did not deserve to live. But Barles, 6 kills to 2 deaths. I mean, that's like the thing with Bohemians, right? Like, they're not even all that insane on a map like this.
Jestem przyprawiona.
It's like literally only maps where you can pretend Dark and Feudal Age don't exist. Now, Barles did get housed for a moment. Is with 1 villager worth of idle TC time, so their numbers are still going to be identical. No horse collar in yet for purple either, although we can totally afford it, honestly. But yeah, just all these infantry and another unit's going to bite the dust. That said, the vill, punch it! 3 HP across 2 units. Defensive range incoming. Militia just there to buy a bit more time. Res collected still quite comparable. There's Horse Collar now coming in as it applies retroactively to all of these farms. Blacksmith coming in here for MbL, but that food income is going to be very rough. He's trying to add in more farms now. He does have his own Horse Collar upgrade. Really trying to avoid getting rid of those straggler trees, interestingly. And the game is going to march on. So, could you consider this a success so far for MbL? He's still even in res collected. He's getting himself defended. And he's Bohemian. So the longer the game goes on without you actively dying, the better it is for the Civ of MbL. And much like almost every Civ in AoE2, on a closed map, Vietnamese stand no chance against Bohemians. Still, you need to not die, and I do find it interesting that MbL's making archers instead of skirmishers. Is something? Generally speaking, yes, because Vietnamese are one of the very best early Imperial Age civs. That said, Bohemians, because they can get cannons instantly, they can, I think, defend pretty effectively with Castle Age chemistry. Fletching's in for both players. No +1 defense for either. More walls are on their way. Against Bohemians, I mean, until Hofnitsa comes out, yeah, they can be pretty decent. Alright. This is still really tough, though. The tower has been forced out. MbL's doing a good job with the food eco, but for the time being, lots and lots of food here for Barles, for Mr. Barley, and also long-distance hunt taking. Oh, wait! Oh, this is getting ugly. MbL perhaps underreacting a bit. Yeah, free conscription is a great bonus for sure. Alright, still only the 1 vill dying thus far. Now MbL going on over to stone. Alright, there's the market. As a Pierce Shield, yes, but very rarely. I could probably count on the number of fingers on my hand. The number of times it's actually made a difference. Mostly because the wagons aren't a very good support unit. The only time they're good is when you mass them in early Castle Age. Alright, another defensive tower here. Castle Age is on the way for Barles. He sold his stone. He's going to continue with this pressure, which, again, I love. But, yeah, they're not great. Not great. Carpentry? Yes, I still have all 10 fingers. 10 fingers and 10 toes. Alright, this is a little annoying for sure, having 4 skirms in your base, but nothing you can't handle is MbL. Wait, how did he never find those 2 sheep? Oh my goodness. Look at MbL scouting, man. Oh my goodness, this scouting. 19% map exploration. Yeah, this is so annoying having these 4 skirms in your base like that. MbL's going to be making a couple scouts here. Looks like all these vills are still pretty high HP. There are some low HP ones over here that you need to be careful about. There we go. Bowsaw and Heavy Plow both on the way, interestingly. Bodkin too. Barles bought back 100 stone, so I guess he's not going as aggressive as he probably initially looked like. House wall stuff happening. Whatever. And MbL's still just turtling up super hard. It's the loss of a toe. An unfortunate game of footsie. Also frostbite. Alright, I mean, there is the second TC and the monastery coming in. Bohemian Knight. It is not Safrail. Whoa, hold on, what is this? I thought MbL would just be trying to add TCs. He's got 4 towers. I mean, maybe the university is just for guard tower, and then you need, like, defensive mangonels, but, like, you do need some eco. My 3 hands? I'm kind of a 4-2-4 guy. Alright, there's the second TC, but look how safe this is. MbL really is just banking on surviving until late game. Chemistry coming in. But he's going to be really far behind. It's an interesting approach from Barles. I thought he would try and leverage his faster castle age time just to, like, smash MbL in the face, but I think upon seeing just how turtley his opponent is being, Barles is opting to try and outboom him and just kill him in early Imperial Age. And I think that's actually a good idea. I think trying to push uphill into these towers is a bigger challenge than it's worth, and although you still die in late game, with an eco advantage, which you're going to be getting here as Barles, easily able to take it in early imp. That's like, yeah, it's tough out there. But yeah, MbL's still just so heavily turtling, guys. Like, he makes Franklin the turtle look like a hamster. That was a kid's show, right? I'm pretty sure it was. Elite Skirm? I think you try and punch in early Imperial Age with Imp Skirm and Trebs. I think that's what I would do. Like, definitely don't add the 4th TC. That feels pretty unnecessary. Go for the 3 TC boom. You can see really good eco upgrades for Barles and the Villager Elite on top of it. That said, MbL is going to try and start to launch a counterattack. He did get chemistry. He does have hand cannons on the way, so maybe MbL's realizing that I can't just sit in my base and try and defend all day. So I think there are some interesting mind games and decisions that are coming in here from both players. You have some Fire Lancers coming in. They're obviously awful against the Hand Cannoneers. That said, the Hand Cannons themselves are very bad against the Crossbowmen, who just attack so much faster. Is he going to try and intercept these units? Oh, good attack round there. It is MbL after all. Well, I thought this series would be a good one, and it is really interesting so far. I mean, I think MbL and Barles are two of the more interesting players to watch out there. They're two of the least hamstery guys in the top 12. They both actually kind of play their own style. I mean, MbL is one of the most easily identifiable players in any hidden cup. And then you have Barles, who is usually going to be working with those less common army compositions. Not as focused on, like, Cav Archer Skirmisher play. He'll go for guard towers a ton, and then really try and, like, grind you out in Imperial Age. Really enjoy this matchup. A lot of strays today, as they always deserve. All right, look at this guard tower coming in here defensively. This is a scary push, though. Barles is faster up to Imp, and, I mean, that's the whole dynamic, right? MbL's eco is very weak relative to his opponents. I mean, the free mining upgrades are very nice. But is this going to be enough? Barles will have his own defensive castle. But if MbL can get past the middle here and back onto the high ground, then suddenly it's going to be a nightmare for Barles to stop. But MbL opting out of that, and I think this is very good for purple. Also, Barles has already lost to Tato, by the way, in the overall group standings. So it's super, super important for him to get that win. MbL, meanwhile, has already swept Repard. So MbL still has more games against the players who matter in the group. I mean, no disrespect to Lix and Repard, but they're going to be getting swept by almost everybody. So this is still earlier days for MbL. But I want the situation where it's a three-way tie for second place between Tato, Barles, and MbL, and there's some ridiculous tiebreaker involved. Because I am an agent of chaos or something. Anyway, here we are, guys. Imp is still not in yet, and we saw last game that MbL was able to break his opponent when he tried to get to Imperial Age. Is this going to be any different? Looking at the flags? Yeah, I mean, I love the flags. I think it's a great touch. The devs are so hit or miss with new features, man. It's like you have the voice chat, which, like, is an okay idea, but is implemented terribly, in my opinion. Oh, no. Those mangonels are all getting sniped from the high ground. Chemistry's coming in. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Trebuchet is, of course, on the Trebu way, too. But yeah, but then you have, like, the new flags feature, which, I mean, nobody had any idea that was coming. And yet everyone loves it, so... Who knows? That's fair. He was Koreans in the last game, Hightower. Didn't come. I am in agreement. Genoese crossbowman. The team chat feature feels like something that World's Edge was like. Somebody at World's Edge was like, oh, hey, this would be really cool if we had the team voice chat. And then it just wasn't implemented very well. You do have keep, yes. All right, another castle coming in. Main TC is down, or starting TC, rather. Gonna mix in those skirms. So like I was saying, Trebs and Imp skirms, and also bombard cannons. A mangonel even coming out. But, I mean, you obviously can't go for Hussite wagons if you don't have castles, and that is Trebuchet number 3, and Barles is playing this super well. Okay, MbL actually is using the the Hussite wagon blocking damage there. Sadly, will be a pain. Oh, I'm not passing judgment until I actually play it. It seemed like they just redid the sibs and units, which is honestly all right. With voice chat, it's on by default, which is a huge problem. Like, that's a big privacy issue. Oh no, this is a great game. And there is... Oh, is there no toggle? But yeah, that is simply unacceptable. Mapuche imp skirms? Oh yeah, that would be brutal, man. Anyway, another castle is up, but it is likely going to go down very fast, and MbL taps out. Series is all tied up. This is what we want to see in TTL, guys. Very evenly matched between these two players. Two games that were very close. MbL with big mid-game pushes in both of them. Well, actually, I mean, Barles also kind of went for a mid-game push, but they kind of pushed past each other in the first game.
Ano, jsem připravena.
But yeah, lots of early infantry. Good game. It's almost like not having a bunch of hybrid maps makes things interesting. But like, that's what we want to see in TTL. None of this one-sided shenaniganry. Well, some water maps make the game worse. I genuinely think that there are very interesting games you can get on water maps. And it's down to making the map water being important in the late game and not crushing in the early game, which is really tough to do. Anyway, just flipping the civs here. Both players going with their second pick. Valley is going to be the final map. This feels like an opportunity for any of these civs for Barles. I feel like MbL's probably going to go Persians. At least I like Persians more than Burgundians or Bengalis on an Arabia-esque map. I mean, I think you could justify any of them as MbL, and like, that's fine. But yeah, I feel like Barles' civs are a little bit more streamlined unless MbL goes Persians here. It was in one of the NACs I was at. I like Valley, but Valley is pretty different though because of the chickens. It's a good use of the chickens, and I think Valley is a very good map. Again, I don't actually think we need only like Arabia and Arena, but I think if we use Arabia and Arena as like starting points, and I think Socotra is, as well has created an entirely new archetype of map, and do variations of those, like you can create, I think, a really good tournament pool of just like a bunch of maps that all should deliver fairly good experiences. And of course, the more aggressive maps too, like your, you know, Land Madness, Atacama. Runestones is a Red Bull map. I mean, it's basically... That's kind of interesting, right? Because Runestones is basically just Arabia. There's very little difference between Runestones and Arabia. Runestones is just a bit more consistent in its generation. Yeah, I'll be interested to see where I redo Pachacuti. Pachacuti! We still don't have. Of that range? Nope. Nope. All right, so kind of what I expected here between these two guys. Because in Age of Empires, every tournament needs a gimmick if it's an online tournament. Otherwise, it's hard to make it stand out and be memorable. Just look at Warlords. LAN events are only organized by people who like having the very diverse map pool. And because of the way that you're allowed to always pick your maps in tournaments, like we don't really have many tournaments with fixed maps. Pro players always gravitate towards the hybrid maps because they're the most mechanically demanding. Alrighty, guys. Keep the colors consistent. Last game I'm going to cast today, but it will be Barles in the purple as the Mayans to the west, and in the east in the orange as the Persians. It will be MbL, so classic AOC matchup. Good stuff here. So let us see, guys. Yes, because T90 made Valley more open. You thought it was a bit too passive. And wanted players to fight more for the middle, which is understandable. Now, obviously, we have all the chickens! Or hares and chickens.
Salam.
That said, it's still far from impossible to wall. And the thing with this map also is that because of the, well, valley in the middle, it can be kind of campy in the late game. So making it a little bit more aggressively inclined, I think, is totally fine. Now, as far as the Civ matchup goes, Mayans and Persians are both very different Civs, but they do both have strong economies, and MbL is going to be going for a very early rush. Look at this barracks really far forward. You do start with those extra resources as Persians, remember. But, on the other hand, Barles is going to be absconding with a boar. Oh boy, things are going to get real messy real fast. Is he going to see the barracks? He does not! Oh my goodness, he's one tile off. Boars chasing. Boars have 0.9. What? Okay, no, it didn't de-aggro. Like, there's literally no reason for it to de-aggro right there. Hey, this is where we go on Gaia's POV. Remember, basically, as soon as the eagle goes outside of this line of sight, then the boar de-aggros. Yep, see, as soon as it went out of line of sight, it de-aggroed and is now going back. Yeah, the initial fight in Pachacuti 2 like is literally meaningless. Your units get deleted eventually. Or at least that was the case. Like, it's entirely for show. It doesn't do anything, and the enemy player loses all of those units anyway. Like, it's just all scripted. Oh, is he gonna go again? No way. Okay, yeah, he's not going to try and double dip here. Anyway, I do think it's interesting that he's opting for Mayans over Portuguese. I think, personally, the right ones, I mean, again, neither player gets to keep those units. Oh, no! Oh, that's a lot of scout HP. I do like the aggressive potential of Mayans, but I feel like on a map that can very often go late game, I kind of like Portuguese more. Uh-oh. That's a lot of damage. How about a little more? Because as things stand, Persians are going to have a better mid-game eco by a lot compared to both Portuguese or Mayans, who are much more focused on having a strong Dark Age, and then it's more about unit efficiency throughout the rest of the game. Mayans just a bit more extreme than Portuguese. Yes, lots and lots of chicken in the middle, and MbL's taken That said, it's really hard to out-efficiency Portuguese in the late game, and since the map can get very campy, Feitoria is also a really strong option. So, like, yeah, personally, I like Portuguese a little bit more here, but Mayans are still going to be, you know, extremely good, as they always are on anything resembling an open map. 2 militia here for both players means such a drush-friendly meta these days. No, that's why I was saying that I would actually prefer it if the animal is aggroed against you, it's not going to move out of the way for you trying to place a foundation. They only do that if the animal isn't aggroed against you. Yeah, they're really strong in this map. To be fair, Portuguese have better answers than Mayans, because Portuguese have good monks, and they have, well, I guess both Mayans and Portuguese have halbs. But, yeah. Portuguese have the better monks. I feel like that's the sort of thing that pro players really like, though. But it's really unintuitive. Hours into the game. But yeah, could the Mayan longer-lasting resources overcome that? Who knows? Anyway, Barles going up on 26 pop. So not as fast as he could. Also, look at this perfect Waluigi-shaped forage bush patch. Like, this is literally perfect. Yes, it would make Black Forest players very unhappy. But it's like the boar luring, super long distance, and the fish booming is like really popular with players. That said, they did nerf fish booming, which I think is very important. Fishing itself is way too good. Anyway, an armored DBA on the way, and both players going up to the 4 infantry units. Archery range on the way forward here for MbL. I mean, he is not playing a passive game whatsoever. Fish trap HP. Did they do that? Do they have 200 HP now? I mean, honestly, I feel like it makes more sense that the player is incentivized to snipe the fishing ships as opposed to the fish traps, so I think that's totally fine. Anyway, scuffle over here. Both players losing a veil. MbL's actually lost a second. Good micro here from Barles. Oh, wow. 5 times the HP. Anyway, oh my goodness, guys. This was huge from Barles. And he skipped Metadarm. So he didn't have to make that extra investment. Oh, but then just as I say that, MbL snags 1 more villager. But the archery range is denied. Oh, no. Oh, wow, that was even better for Barles then. Really, really messy here for both players. DBA is just now on its way here for Barles, which is obviously fine. He's slightly ahead in resources, as MbL spent a lot of his villager time sort of out here in the middle of the map. And also, Mayans have a very strong Dark Age economy. I think there's a palisade here. Yeah, there's a palisade there. It's kind of hard to tell with the big old canvas. Actually, wait a minute. You don't have draft animals in Mesoamerica. What is this made out of? Aztecs and Mayans, what did you make this out of? You don't have leather. I guess it could be cloth. Oh, no. Kike mid partner jubilee. I guess that's Danish, right? Why couldn't they have leather? Because they didn't have cows. All right, Blacksmith coming in here from MbL, but he is down 4 villagers at the moment. Also a lot of idle TC time. Beef leather? I thought leather was specifically beef. My partner anniversary? Yeah, I mean, that's what everyone gets as a default message. Which, again, I don't understand because I don't consider my partner anniversary to be especially significant relative to the anniversary of my very first stream. Anyway, big walls coming here from Barles. Oh my goodness, he wants that back gold. Animal hide? Is it?
Tabish. Ashike.
Ari.
Shot it.
سلام.
Alright, another Vil snipe, guys.
آماده.
This forwarding from MbL has simply not been worth it. Oh, I was not aware. I was just thinking of using cowhide.
Farmon. Tabish.
Well, I would say that that'd give you very good odds at the moment, considering how dominant Barles has been here in the early game.
آری. سلام.
The hindquarters of a horse.
Amade.
Oh,
تبیش.
that's odd.
Amade.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever bovine,
Shot it.
I feel like would be the most, because they obviously also have the most skin that you can turn into leather relative to anything else.
Adults.
I guess horses too, but horses are generally more valuable to keep alive than cows
Ashike.
in an area where horses are easy to roam around.
Ashike.
Prefer to eat it?
Tabish.
Exactly.
Farmon. Shot it.
آماده.
Anyway, 5 Vil lead right now for Barles. Still just doing a very good job here in the early game. Definitely leveraging the early game strength of the Mayans, and this is what they are going to be doing best. MbL went for the early draw but with all of these forward villagers and all of the damage he took because he was exposed. Barles able to keep pace with the super fast rush and then go for the big ol' counterattack, and that is still what he is up to.
آماده.
Amade.
This, I am all sorts of not sold on. He doesn't have enough stone for a tower because his stone is being denied. Is he just dead? Oh my goodness, I think he's just dead, guys. Barles is going to click up in a second. He literally can't go for the tower. Is pigskin. Interesting.
Farmon. Ari.
I wonder what it's used for.
Amade.
Castle Age coming in.
تبیش.
For footballs? Oh yeah, that's true. I don't think they use actual pigskin anymore. I think they use some sort of synthetic material.
Ari.
I mean, wheelbarrow's coming in, but guys, this is really rough for MbL. Barles doing just such a good job of defending and counterattacking.
Amade.
Kind of unfortunate we're not getting the full-blown late game, though, between these guys, likely.
آماده.
Tower coming in. Defensive tower immediately queued up for Barles. He still wants to fight this. Learned so much, but is it anything that's worth learning? Not a platypus. That's my question.
آری.
Ari. Ari. Shot it. Tabish. Amade. Farmon.
Ashike.
I mean, I still think I teach you guys a lot about AoE 2. Not that it's anything useful about AoE 2, but I teach you guys stuff.
سلام.
Oh my god, guys, Barles just finding these angles to attack and get damage done has been insane. Like, this is cray-cray.
Farmon.
MbL now at 5 swordsmen. Another Vil is dead over there. Barles is playing him like a fiddle. Oh, yeah, he's mega turbo dead. Castle Age is going to be in here in just a moment. Bodcrow Saw likely queued up very shortly after each other. There's the Crow. Where is the Saw? He can't afford the Saw. Another tower being attempted. We do have some Igalos as well.
Tabish. Shot
Oh, jeez. This is rough, guys.
سلام.
Yikes. I mean, dominant performance there from Barles, guys, and we are one step closer to the truly coveted result. Actually, where's the... I need to get to the T90 site. We must find the legendary result. Oh, I'll show you what we're coveting here. Group A in platinum. So, Barles... Actually, I mean, it was technically this. This can be whatever. We'll just say Lix wins over Repard. Like, this doesn't matter. Leary wins 3-0 over Repard. Tato loses 2-1 to MbL. Barles sweeps Lix. Leary sweeps Barles. Tato sweeps Repard. And MbL sweeps Lix. Oh no! Barles loses on all the tiebreakers! No! Oh no! Rip Barles, man. This is what we want, though. 9-6, 9-6, 9-6. They're all 1-1 against each other. Is seeding? Rip, man. Rip Areno. But the Barles just getting eliminated on a bunch of tiebreakers is really unfortunate, man. And yet this honestly doesn't feel like it's that far off of a result. That'd be pretty funny. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for me today. Hope you all enjoyed watching. I'll probably be back tomorrow. So I'll see you guys then.